Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Hupfin, you there? Oh no. Hello?
Hello.
Hello. Hello there.
I do believe we're live, Llama.
We are. We have to waste a couple of minutes.
Well, we don't have to waste a few minutes. We can discuss the video game that folks are about to watch be raced, and played quickly even.
Yeah, there might be some people in the chat who don't know what this is. This is Timespinner. It's a nice little Metroidvania. Completely unbiased opinion that you should totally go buy it. And we are playing the randomizer today. We have wafflesoup on the left and JamesKT on the right.
Yep, we're here in the first round. We're doing well, like any randomizer, we have a lot of options and a lot of settings that our runners can be going with, and we're doing kind of, I guess, medium difficulty, but high speed. We're starting off our runners with with dash. We go fast, but everything else that we're going to need in order to actually, get to the final ending, get to the final boss, they're going to have to dig up, including, you can see on the tracker, the five, the time spinner pieces. The eponymous time spinner has been broken up. They're going to need those and some way to get to the lab, which for this setting means we have the D key card that we need and some means of, vertical progression.
We also need the B key card.
We will also need the B key card. There are some configurations where that's not necessary, but
yes,
we'll need it.
Yes.
But yeah, I mentioned having so many configurations because I've seen wafflesoup preparing for this tournament and playing this quite a bit on his own stream, and he will do just about any configuration you throw at him. So there are a lot of ways that you can approach this. Hopefully, he's got the right mindset for this particular setup and doesn't.
He's been doing a lot of practice. I think I saw James also doing some practice, so they're also prepared as they're ever going to be. But as I've noticed on comms a few times, everyone's real nervous about this for some reason.
Well, I do believe this is the first, Timespinner Randomizer event that we've done, so folks getting acclimated to it all.
Yep,
but it should be a good race regardless.
James over there preloading a save because the first save you load up is always a little bit sluggish, and both of them have done that.
So yeah, we should be seeing these two get going in just a moment.
Just a moment. I forgot to roll the seed, so we're lagging behind a little bit here. But blame everything on me, like the first one falling apart. Everything is my problem. Even if I'm not on comms, feel free to blame me for everything.
Well, we'll blame you, but only if we can also thank you for everything. So
okay,
you get both. You get to deal with both sides.
That's fair enough. And this is real fun. Randomizer, Yarno is in the chat, and everyone tell them how great they are. And I really like this randomizer. It's real cool. It's got lots of nice flags, and you can even play on dream mode, which means that you can't die, so it's a nice, friendly, beginner kind of randomizer.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice little quality of life things, especially if you're coming from other randomizers that may be more bare bones. You see that we have the trackers here in the display. We don't actually have a tracker. We haven't brought someone in to do the background tracking. That's automated in the randomizer, so that it just kind of lets you do that for free.
Another cool thing is there's a built-in map tracker in the game. You'll probably see them. Well, you'll maybe see them check it when they're in the game. Depends on how confident they are. But here we go.
Yep, we are off.
It looks like James's stream is behind a few seconds.
Yep, we'll get that caught up as we go along, so no worries there. We're starting off with Blade and Jin Inferno. They're going to be very happy about that.
Okay, so Jin Inferno is the strongest spell in the game. It also is the strongest spell in the game, even if it wasn't broken. But it's also broken. It is the only spell that you can cast for free if you have enough mana to cast it twice and can do it at a certain pace. You'll probably see it happen on the first boss that they get to, but just keep an eye on their mana bar, that blue bar up in the left corner. If you see it sort of charging but then snapping back up to full, that's the glitch there. We also got the tablet early on, so we're not going to have too much backtracking. The tablet unlocks downloadable items, which means that there are little locations that you can get lore bits from, and normally they don't have items, but in the randomizer they do. So you just download a car, good to go.
A car is not an item in this game, although that would be brilliant, but it's the same basic concept. We also did find the V key card, which is not terribly valuable, but with this flag set, since we have those downloadable items, that is 3 checks for free once we get to the library.
Corruption, good. It's an okay spell. They're probably never going to switch off of Jin Inferno, though, because of that glitch. I'm just trying to make conversation about what they're picking up.
No, not until we get to a point where we need Light Wall, which is not even guaranteed to happen. That's probably the only thing that anyone here will be swapping a spell out for. Otherwise, they're keeping that Jin Inferno.
So it does look like their first boss is going to be Boots, or the Feline Sentry, because they haven't found any other sort of progression. So they're probably going to be heading into Varndegree Metropolis after fighting Boots. And we name him Boots because his little kitty voice actor was also named Boots. It's actually my parents' cat. The way Bodhi and I managed to gather his meows, we lured him into a bathroom and locked him in and held a mic in front of the kitty's face until he got frustrated with us and meowed. And that's how we got that.
Because we needed an angry cat, and therefore you just...
Yes, you can feel the anger, because Boots is trapped in there with you. That's what that is.
Well, it's not going to be long with that Jin Inferno.
No, poor Bootsy. You can see Waffle doing the glitch on the left here.
Yeah, I think James managed to get the timing just a little off and wasn't able to hold it down.
I think it was that Waffle got a level and James didn't. So Waffle had just enough aura to do the glitch and James did not. The unfortunate part is if you don't have enough to do the glitch, Boots is strong against Sharp, and that's their only option right now.
Yep, so James is stuck in a fairly grindy fight right now.
Boots is a strong boy. No weaknesses. James is taking advantage of the orb swap glitch, ? The developer knows that it's actually in there and intended it to be something that you can do. So it's not really a glitch. It's hidden strats. I don't know.
Advanced techniques. And that is the sort of thing that would get written up in Nintendo Power.
Yes. But if you have the jewelry box, which lets you swap between several different loadouts, you can get around the slow attack speed of some of the orbs, specifically Gun Orb, Radiant Orb, and it seems like Blade Orb, you can do a little bit of bonusing on that. Oh, okay.
The wheel in the V room. So that's our first time spinner piece. That also is what actually allows you to freeze time. And there's Twin Pyramids on another terminal. We're downloading all the goods.
There's so much. You would download everything. We're just pirating everything off the internet. This is some good stuff in the library. Gotta support your local libraries, kids.
The local library is certainly supporting our runners, if nothing else. The
wheel, as Hupfin said, does allow you to stop time, which means you can jump on top of...
Our first gear as well.
I'm trying to do commentary here. They need to stop getting things. When you stop time, you can jump on enemies. The Twin Pyramid keys open up the other time zone, and they unlock a random portal to it. That's what I wanted to say.
Yep. So our runners they're currently in what's considered the present. There is a past timeline that we can go and visit from any of these warp rooms, like where wafflesoup is right now and is doing right now. And it's basically a duplicate world, but a lot of the rooms are meaningfully changed. Among them, the Caves of Banishment. That's an interesting warp point to get.
Are we going to have an early Maw here?
Wafflesoup appears to be headed in that direction.
No. No, Maw is easy if you're leveled up just a little bit, but right now would be a bit scary. Waffle they both have time stop, so they could use strats on Maw, but let's see if James heads that way. Yeah, level 2 Maw is real rough.
Yeah. It's a little friendlier if you've got equipment that takes advantage of its weaknesses. If you got
they're
Radiance,
both very smart.
Nope. Everyone's avoiding the Maw.
Okay.
Year 2.
Wow, always beware early benevolence in randomizers.
Oh, absolutely.
This is going to be the search for the B key card. I swear. It's going to be buried somewhere or something, or Zarian's going to have something. I'm going to curse the seed right out of the start here by saying this and speaking it into existence.
Yeah, we're at 7 minutes, not even. We're looking at 3 out of 5 Timespinner pieces, but no key cards that actually unlock meaningful rooms.
Oh, Wheel was in the V room.
The V room, yes.
It looks like James might have accidentally skipped it. Ooh.
Oh, yes, I had not noticed that was the case.
Whoopsies. Maybe doesn't notice that they have the V key card.
Or may just be feeling like that is in so many times not value.
Yeah, but it's 3 checks and you're right there.
Yeah.
You've got to read in order to learn. Who knows? It's an easy enough check later, and Timespinner Wheel is nice to have, but it's not always going to prevent you from getting things. We got Water Mask.
Water Mask is a meaningful item, though. Both of our runners grabbing it pretty much in lockstep.
Mm-hmm. Getting a little bit of divert. Nope, they're both going the same way. Everyone's heading to... No, Waffle's going to the lake.
Waffle's going to head to the lake.
Oh, they're going to
Use the Water Mask, yes.
Going to check the waterfall because we're never going to have that mistake ever again. Oh, Gorb. All right.
But yeah, James is heading over into the castle. There are a few locations in here where, as you're saying, the time stop does kind of open them up, but so does any other vertical progression that our runners might be finding, sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm. The castle early on can be a little scary. Some of the things here hit pretty hard. That big lady there does hit pretty hard. Luckily, though, they picked up a bashing type orb, the Shattered Orb, and she is weak to that. I did not see that, Lunaray Games. We'll pretend that the bug never happened. This is a perfect game. There's no bugs whatsoever. The bats are perfect. They are having a party, and don't look at it.
Look, ask anyone who runs a randomizer. Bugs just make for interesting flavor. You can't be mad about them.
And, that's pink. There is a room in the castle that is locked until you get a pink item. That is Plasma Geyser, or Plasma Orb, or the Royal Ring.
Yep, all these spells and these rings that we're picking up. In the vanilla game, there are ways to obtain them based off of the orbs. So the orbs are what, really matter and kind of make families of items.
They're also getting some good gear. They got Empire Crown and I think Lab Coat.
Yeah, I believe I saw a lab coat and definitely saw the Empire Crown.
So some good gear.
Not the absolute max, but pretty high up there.
Yeah. What was I going to say? I was going to say something very important. Oh, it's real nice that they got the pink before they had to bypass the room. Usually what happens in these randomizers is that they have to pass up on the pink locked room and then come back. And now they don't have to do that if they remember to go check it, because habit will make them maybe skip it.
Yep, as we see wafflesoup picking up his plasma geyser as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I was a little surprised that wafflesoup didn't go further to the left, further through the lake. Having the water mask and a source of fire in that Jin Inferno, you're able to route that entire domain in one go. And that sort of efficiency is what you're really looking for in a randomizer.
Mm-hmm. Not having double jump or time stop will prevent James from actually getting to Ilana. Not Ilana, the twins, actually. Because you need something to go to the twins. The twins are the next boss fight here in the castle. And one of the 3 required bosses for the end game. Looks like James just dipped out because they don't have time stop, so they're gonna go try the maw, maybe?
That's certainly the area that they're in. Wafflesoup, though, when he gets up there, he's likely
going somewhere else.
Oh yeah, he's going to avoid the maw still. But Wafflesoup having time stop, it is logical for him to be able to get to the twins.
Mm-hmm. It's all you need in vanilla. This is a great seed so far. We'll see how terrible it gets.
Yeah, we're getting a decent amount of benevolence, but nothing, too overwhelming.
Just enough suspicious.
Yeah, just enough to make sure our runners are testing their skills.
Mm-hmm. Made the jump over to this little nook over here. Just obliterated that Royal Guard with Jin Inferno.
It's a good spell.
James exploring down here in the other side of the Caves of Banishment, which is a good move because of the water mask. There's all these chests under here that they can get. And there's a free warp point all the way on the left. But we got Waffle here taking on the twins. It's officially called the Golden Idol, but everyone calls them the twins because they're there. Also got Bombardment, so, yep, it's dead.
Yep, Bombardment.
Wow.
Bombardment, great spell for static targets like the Idol. It's just a shotgun blast, and if your enemy is not moving, it's very easy for every pellet to hit.
I was going to talk more about the Golden Idol, but nope, that's in the past. Never mind. It's gone now.
Oh, but there's a gas mask over there for James.
Nice.
Not super valuable with this flag set. It can be more valuable in other settings, but you're still going to want that after you take care of the maw.
Waffle following in James's tracks here, heading to the left, which is a smart move because you can't get up to Ilana until you get something else. You need double jump or something else to get up to Ilana. Ideally, they'll want Light Wall or Celestial Sash, so they don't have to skip any checks while they're there. But they may have to do that, as we saw in other seeds. But going this way is not necessary. Okay.
Third gear in Lake Selene.
Okay. Seed, you need to calm down a little.
Well, again, we're getting all these time spinner pieces. We're not getting key cards. We
It's
do
a little
need
concerning.
both sets.
It's a little concerning, but, progress is progress. And there's so many checks over here.
And honestly, I think you would rather be getting all the time spinner pieces and not getting the key cards, because time spinner pieces, you do need them. They don't also open up checks. If you're getting all the key cards and no time spinner pieces, now you got more places to go look.
Yeah. Oh, yes, the machine gun strats. James has Wind Orb and Icicle Ring on, which is lovingly called machine gun strats. The Wind Orb is the orb with the fastest attack. Basically, it has 0 cooldown, so it goes as fast as you want. And then the Icicle Ring creates a little icicle projectile. So if you equip those together, we got some good synergy to just destroy everything with a machine gun made out of ice. Switch back over to Shattered Orb, which is also really good. It hits multiple times, and in Timespinner, when you hit an enemy, it slows down very briefly. There's a little bit of a lag as they get hit, and you can actually delay certain attacks on bosses with the Shattered Orb. Got him moving through the water area. The water area does slow you down, but since this particular flag set is starting with the Talaria, it doesn't go too slowly.
Yeah, you can still dash while underwater. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. It makes sense.
Totally. As we have James heading down into the caves.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to switch over to James's audio so we can hear the caves music.
You'll also hear a lot of damage boosting. They clearly just do not care about those mushrooms.
Nope. The mushrooms are one of the more annoying enemies to deal with because they cause poison. And poison in this game is actually a problem. Usually in games you're like, I'll just tough it out. It's fine. It's just a cold. In Timespinner, however, it's going to do a percentage of your total health, not a set amount. And it does not stop until you're pretty dang low on hit points. So usually you're better off damage boosting through the cave so you can get to that save point and get that health refresh much faster. Did a bit
James actually saving quit out of those last few checks, decides a brooch is not necessary because they never are.
But they're pretty.
I mean, yeah, that you can make Linnaeus look cool. You can make Maiev look cool, but it's not fast. It's just cool.
Wafflesoup going a different route, cleaning up Upper Lake Serene, and then heading to the Azure Queen. Let's switch over. It's not going to last very long because she is a earlier boss, and
Jin Inferno.
Yep.
So.
Yep. There you go. We don't really get to talk about it much in this run because they have Jin Inferno, but all bosses have a desperation attack, where once they reach about half health, they introduce something new into their attack pattern. Azure Queen was when she lifts up those two little spiky things. Golden Idol didn't get to it at all.
We're just too fast.
And, what, kitty? I got a kitty yelling at me.
Well, we may be seeing the Maw's desperation attack, or maybe not, depending on how fast Wafflesoup is, but he is going in to do that fight. If we start to see, giant pink lasers going across the entire room, that's what we're looking for there. But he does do a moment of time stop to position himself just perfectly, so no other attack is really going to hit him. This is a pretty safe fight.
Just keep that pace up. Linnaeus's aura is pink in this realm because she's actually on a different planet. That was the desperation attack, so we're halfway there. Looks like James also did the dip and go to the Azure Queen. Maybe heading to Upper Lake Serene now, because they do have that warp down by the Maw, so they don't have to completely do the circuit of the caves to reach it.
Yep, so using that Jin Inferno, as we see there, burn some vines in the past to clear away in the present. And hitting up a few of these chests, but without double jump and without the wheel, you are going to miss a handful up here. So you're going to have to orphan those checks, which is always an unfortunate feeling.
I think it's just one chest up here that you have to skip.
It's still one.
It's so frustrating because it's like right there. It's so close. You can almost reach it and then it doesn't happen. That one, right there on James's.
Yep, that one.
So there. It's right there. Can't you just grab a rat and drag it over and then jump on its head and time stop? Oh, but James doesn't even have time stop, so never mind.
Yep, we're just going to have to hope there's nothing necessary in there. But yeah, Waffle Soup cleaning up some of the last water checks down here in the caves.
And we have James heading to the Maw now. Let's switch over to James. Oh, nope. Going to safety save?
Safety save, yeah. It shouldn't be that dangerous of a fight for them, but doesn't hurt.
You may notice on Waffle Soup's screen, there is a bit of a haze going over this area. This is what you need the gas mask for. This only happens after you defeat the Maw, but sometimes it comes up, sometimes it doesn't. A fun fact about the Maw boss, if you can look in the background, there's like a mountain with a very faint vertical beam coming out of it. And that's actually where the Maw gets its laser beam attack. Its mouth is actually a portal, and it just places the portal over on that mountain and zaps you with what's coming out of the mountain. And you can tell because the beam in the background actually disappears when he does that attack. It's very faint, though.
Yeah, it's faint enough that I can't see it on this restream. But next time I'm playing, I'll probably forget. Honestly,
you'll forget until you realize, oh no, I didn't look. I need to do it next time.
But Waffle Soup did just find a key card. That's the D.
Yeah. So that's one of the things they need, and that gets you out of the library.
Yep, so that'll give you access to the tower with a pretty winding area. Playing it vanilla, that is meant to be kind of a longer level, but here we're kind of hoping to find the C or the B as well, so that we can kind of take all the shortcuts that exist and
elevator
make it less frustrating.
Card.
Or the elevator key. Something. Give us something.
Something so we don't have to do the tower. Oh, light wall's nice. Light wall's nice.
Light wall's vertical progression.
So light wall is a spell that you can stand on, and technically you can just keep recasting it and jumping on them further up and up and up. So that's Waffle's going to be going to Alana at this point, I assume, because he can now get everywhere.
Yep, and I do believe that early on we actually found the economizer ring.
That'll help.
Yep, made out of the gun orb for reasons, I guess.
It's efficient, like the military.
I guess. I didn't make this game. I
think that was a Kickstarter backer designed orb.
I'll believe that. But it does make for a great pair, because if you are making a ton of light walls over and over, you don't want to have to worry about your aura at all.
Here's the pink locked room, where you can run into Lana's bedroom and steal her health up.
Yep. A single item locked behind any pink equipment, but a single check can be all you need.
Switching over to Waffle Soup, because we're going to be heading into my very favorite song in the game. And someone mentioned earlier, Jeff Ball did amazing with the soundtrack. It's amazing. Everyone go tell him how amazing it is on Twitter. Jeff Ball, so cool. Made all the music. He's real cool.
But meanwhile, James did go back to the V keycard room and got the wheel. So our two runners now even up on Timespinner pieces, and Waffle Soup just has the light wall as an advantage on overall
James
progression.
Did not go and check Merchant Crow's stash, which is where the light wall was.
Yeah, did not. Maybe decided to kind of gamble on the tower, as you're saying. Like we tend to not want to dig too deep into here because it can be kind of winding. But that means that if there's something valuable here, you may have an edge.
That other person's probably not going to go there, so I'm going to go there. But this is about as far as you can get without the C key card, and yep, that's it.
Yeah.
Here on Waffle Soup's side is where Struggle Juggle happens, but luckily we have the light wall, so no struggling happens at all. We call it Struggle Juggle because that big old guy in the center is what you have to time stop and jump on top, and then sort of juggle him in the air with stopping and unstopping time. But it's annoying and then a struggle because he causes chaos when you touch him, which drains your sand, which is what allows you to stop time. So there are 2 points where you can do that, technically. But if you have light wall, you just don't do that. No struggles at all.
Nope, was not necessary. Wasn't necessary to get past that guard, though, as we found the B card and then the
Whoa.
spindle behind another guard.
That's go mode, isn't it?
I do believe that's go.
Wow. Ideally, they'll find Celestial Sash somewhere, but dang. Go mode at 25. That's amazing. Now, Waffle Soup is still continuing up this tower because Aelana is one of the required bosses. In the present, there is a place with 3 lasers, each laser representing one of the bosses in the past, and you have to defeat all 3 in order to get through that location. Speedrunners have tried to glitch past that for years and have not been able to do it, so gotta beat the bosses. And so we're climbing all the way up here to fight Aelana. Aelana's tower is not OSHA compliant. You have to use flight to get up the stairs. Here we have Aelana. She can hit pretty hard and moves around a lot. It has a bit of a wind-up on some of her attacks, so if you're too close, she'll hit you even if you're behind her. She's a bit of a tough boss.
I would also say she does not seem OSHA compliant, being up there flying without any safety harness or spotter or anything.
There's lightning happening everywhere. That's got to be, you know, a short waiting to happen. Here's her desperation attack, though. And Waffle Soup was using the Nether Orb, which causes portal... Okay!
Perfect place for that sash. There is another item in a room
I don't
right
think
above.
Waffle's even going to go, though, because
he's
in go mode. Just go!
If it weren't for the go mode, that would be perfect. But otherwise, it's just funny.
Wow. Okay, but Nether Orb causes portals to appear, and Aelana's weak to it. I can't finish my commentary on the seed. Jeez. James trying to get this chest from the Bombardiers. Unfortunately, we know it's not anything that we need. Well, maybe this will redeem me in the eyes of the runners for having generated this seed versus the other 2 seeds I generated yesterday. Like you said, I get all the blame, but also all the praise.
Yep, that's the deal.
I'm so sorry for your seed, Lily. Lily and Baddies took over an hour, and also Aaron and Marks took over an hour. Oh, okay, I see how it is. It's still my fault, because I didn't give this seed to everyone. I just apparently like Waffle and James way better than anyone else playing favorites.
I'm an impartial commentator. No, we have Waffle Soup heading straight into Amadeus' laboratory.
Completely skipping all checks.
Yep.
Because there's nothing... Like, double jump might be nice, because there are some attacks that are a little hard to dodge on the final boss, but yeah, I just getting the stuff that's along the way and ignoring everything else. Ooh,
Ooh, interesting.
There was a little bit of a teabag moment there where Shadow Seal is real good because it's a late game item and it increases your damage based on how much damage you've taken, and it is so broken. It is the biggest damage boost in the game. It's just wow.
Yeah, and of course these are runners that can handle going a little low on health if it means getting really big power boosts. So we've seen already in this tournament that being used to pretty solid effect.
Waffle's skipping all the downloads now too, even if it's along the way. It's just nope, not worth it. Double jump really wouldn't even help that much at this point, because even if you get hit by an attack, that just increases your damage with Shadow Seal. So, yeah. Here we have Genza, who is weak to fire, which is Jin Inferno's type, so Genza's just going to melt on purpose, because he's a bit of a goo guy, but also in speedrunning terms, he just melts.
Yep.
And then we have 2 options here. The left and the right side. The left side is
Waffle Soup is taking the left side.
There's no Empire Orb equipped.
Yep.
So left side has less HP, and so that's why it is normally picked if you don't have Empire Orb. Empire Orb, the one on the right, is weak to, so usually go and do that because Empire Orb is also broken.
But meanwhile, James took care of the idol and the twins, is now going into the pink room. I suspect, they'll be climbing up the tower as far as possible. They do have light walls, so they can get to Ilana. Just kind of hot on wafflesoup heels, but he has already broken time at 30 minutes.
And it's gonna go punch God in the snoot. Not literally this time, though, because we didn't get Empire Orb. It's very sad.
And even if it's on the way, he's not going to pick it up. Not at this rate.
He's got Nether Orb, which is a real high damage orb, considering it's basically blue orb, but better. And James just got Nether Orb. They also have Radiant Orb, which is the final form of the boss's weakness. So, really, not even the chest that we call Why Not, It's right there. I don't think Waffle's going to look at anything. Yep, not looking at anything.
James, meanwhile, did pick up the Star of Lachiam along their route, which paired with the Radiant Orb is actually very nice. Fires your first orb a second time. So those orbs that have a really long cooldown like Radiant, they're just that much more efficient.
So James is pretty skilled at the orb swapping, so doesn't really need... Oh, what happened there? Oh, there was a bit of a glitch there.
Up, there's the B card for James.
And we got Waffle going into the final boss. Odie throwing shade here. Waffle didn't show off the light wall skip because he cannot do it without double jump. So physically impossible to do light wall skip.
Yeah.
Because we don't have double jump.
So actually finding the sash is even more beneficial, because if you had not, you can't do that light wall skip. You've got to go all the way down that chasm and then all the way back up.
The struggle climb. And then we're moving into the last phase of the final boss. Oh, it's a big thing! Punch it in the face with light wall. Interesting. Waffle's going with Nether Orb. Nightmare is not strong against it. It is strong against the portals it would create, but it is faster than Radiant, so I think that is the logic there. That screen attack was the desperation attack, so we're almost there, and there we go.
There we go.
Let's have exclamation points in chat for Waffle. Man, 33 minutes.
Yep, the 33:03 is the official time. Right as James finds their spindle, Wafflesoup has wrapped everything up.
Let's switch over so we have more interesting audio than whoosh from Waffle. Looks like James is congratulating. But man, that was... I even tried to curse this seed, and I did not succeed. That was anti-cursing, if anything.
I think we call that blessing.
Yeah. No, it's just anti-curses.
I don't know. I'm not an English teacher.
Wildly varying seeds that we've been getting in this tournament. Real fun. We got James moving up to Ilana, and... once he gets to Ilana, if he checks the chest right after Ilana, he'll get the sash. They'll get the sash, and then probably warp out. They might warp out before getting sash, though.
I hope it doesn't end up like that.
Yeah. That'd be very sad.
Yeah, I mean, technically, they have what they need already. They can finish the game with this set of equipment. But we've already been seeing, like, they're having issues with getting enough aura, getting enough mana to do things with all the light walls they have to make, and it'd just be that much worse not having the Celestial Sash.
James using Blood Orb, or Blorb, as we call it, Ilana is weak to chaos or darkness elements, and Blood Orb does a little bit of homing, which kind of helps with the fact that Ilana does not like sitting in one place.
Yeah, it also makes sense that she would be weak to it because, you know, she is made of blood a bit. So, you know.
Describing humans as made as blood is technically true.
Yes. But also the reason that I'm not invited to a lot of conversations.
Yeah, I could see that. Oh, good. We got the sash. Gonna check the bust room and warp out. Got James in go mode. Just have to race for the end at this point. "35 minutes heading for the lab is still amazing." Like Lily said, this is still a great time for them. Waffle just happened to route just a little better, got a little lucky on some of the checks. And James just didn't check V-key card early and skipped the Merchant Crow stash until a little later. And I think it was just those two teeny little mistakes that made the difference. They're not even that big of a mistake. It wouldn't matter that much normally.
It's just decisions, not even mistakes. I mean, I always maintain that it is rare in a randomized race for someone to make an absolute wrong play, and nothing that James did was wrong. But sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And we're still probably going to be in safely under the 45, 50 minute mark that we consider kind of average for this flag set. So this is still a ridiculously fast seed.
Yep. Yeah, James will probably finish around 40-ish minutes, maybe a little over.
Yep, it's just execution and efficiency at this point, which has not really been a huge problem for them.
And they got Shadow Seal because it was powering the lab and hard to miss. And immediately equipping it. Exactly. And now heading on to Genza. We'll get to see what the downloads are, I think, because James is actually going to open them. Get those last few levels, because with the Radiant Orb, you can kill these little guys very quickly.
Yeah, but it doesn't hurt to get, 1 or 2 extra levels as you're going along.
Selen's Bangle's rough to get this late, unfortunately.
Yeah,
it's a real good thing that doubles your experience points, but this late, it's like, why even bother?
Yeah, that's a great thing to find early. The classic, first dozen checks, if it shows up, it's brilliant. Last dozen checks, insulting.
And you can see the damage going up as James takes more damage. Up to 65, doing the cool rapid orb swapping. Sounds so cool when it's going. And done. Gotta leave the room and come back, might as well save.
It does opt for the right side.
Probably out of habit.
Yeah, I do feel like most of the time when I'm running, I end up taking the right side regardless of my equipment.
Well, thematically, it's the correct choice. If you remember lore at all.
I never remember lore.
Well, it's the right choice. Just trust me. Having a bit of a rough fight here. Volterolus here is hits pretty hard, has a lot of hit points. Oh.
Oof. It takes a death. But, that's why we saved right before.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep, gonna opt for the slightly easier fight.
But yeah, this Radiant Orb swapping gets you really cool and high amounts of damage. Look at that. Just real cool. Radiant Orb is a real nice orb because it's a radial attack. You don't have to aim it, and it'll hit things that are above you or behind you. I like it because I'm terrible at aiming.
I mean, there are definitely some rooms where having that sort of angle very valuable.
Mm-hmm.
But that is James through, having broken time as well. We'll head to the final level.
They're gonna go punch God in the snoot as well. Yeah, let me go. Let's go through. Skip the plot. Let's go. I've never actually tried the orb swapping myself. I'm not sure how hard it is. It might be easier if you map certain buttons to different buttons. Right now, orb swap is some of the shoulder buttons. It might be easier to do if you map them to something else. Not sure, though. I've never tried. I'm talking like I know about things, but that's, just how I do.
I know it might be easier, like if you're using keyboard. Even I know I saw the prompts. James is using controller, and that's kind of the standard way. But this randomizer is on the PC version, so that is a control option technically.
This hallway, if you just hold right and jump over each one of those things, usually you can make it through without getting hit. There is one more enemy, so James was doing a quick safe heal.
To the safety.
Make sure they don't die.
I only cut a glimpse. Probably only at like level 16 or something.
And not waiting for healing because, Shadow Seal.
That is a valid point.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, death is also a valid point, so...
Doing Rapid Orb with the Blood Orb doesn't seem to get you much. Some of the orbs it's better with, like Radiant Orb is real cool.
Yeah, the longer the cooldown, the better orb swapping and star locking. Anything that just makes your attacks faster, that's where it really helps out. The wind, like the machine gun you were talking about earlier, it doesn't really benefit there.
Like I said, there is no cooldown. Literally, it's as fast as you can mash your button.
It's as cool as it can. It's partly ice, so
yes.
It can't get any cooler.
And on to the final guy. Get some radiant in his face, and then that lovely swapping. Dang. There's the desperation attack already. And we're gonna have exclamation points in chat for James. They did real good. 43 minutes is still a real good time.
Yep, exclamation marks and GG's all around.
Welcome.
See if we can get folks in here to talk. I do see wafflesoup is in the live room. wafflesoup, GG.
Thank you very much.
Dang! I tried to curse the seed and it didn't work.
Yeah, that is definitely a record for me. That was... Wow, what a seed.
We were trying to do commentary, but the progression kept interrupting us.
Oh.
And, yeah, you just got go mode, and then you go.
Yeah. Well, don't stop for nothing.
Got Shadow Seal in lab, and then, yeah.
Yeah, I was debating along the way if it was worth it to even open chess. And, like, the only things I care about would be Empire Orb and Shadow Seal.
And Shadow Seal was powering the lab, so you had to get it.
Perfect.
Yeah, honestly, with a seed this fast and this short, it's like not even a lot to ask about.
Yeah, how does it feel to have a nice new PB on that?
Oh, it feels great. I have forgotten everything about it. It was over so fast.
But... Yeah, I've forgotten where a lot of things are. I know something was in the V downloads.
Yeah, the wheel was.
The
Yes.
wheel was.
Yeah,
and
the wheel was
then
there.
Merchant Crow's stash had some things that were important.
Light wall.
Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah.
And those wound up being like a sizable part of your lead over James overall, because you did obtain that wheel so early in comparison.
Yeah. Thank goodness for the tracker. It was just like staring me in the face as I got to the library. I'm like, oh, I
Hey,
have
you should go
downloads
do some
and
reading,
V.
yeah?
That's weird. I don't normally have both of those so early.
Yeah. Also, it's only 3 checks, and when has it ever got anything?
Yeah, I thought the same thing about the Merchant Crow stash. Like, I'm not doing the right side or the left side of Varnagras Tower, but let's just check these 3 things real quick.
And lo and behold. Yeah, you and James were pretty neck and neck for most of it, but there was a little bit of divergence with the V downloads and Merchant Crow stash, which is why we mention it. And he was just a little behind. They were just a little behind on getting those 2 progressions. Trying to stretch time a little bit if James wants to come for an interview. Not sure they'll show up, because they might have a streamer mode on and might not get messages. But even with...
I mean, you never have to. It's always just a nice thing that we like to do.
Yeah, if you don't want to have interviews, it's fine. But Hupfin and I were also talking about a time of 43 minutes is still great time for a seed.
Oh, yeah. That's still amazing. I caught the tail end of James' stuff, and the orb swapping trick he does is so powerful.
It's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they're so good at it.
Mm-hmm.
James said, I don't mind in the race time room. I'm not sure if that was in reference to something we said. Thank you, Hupfin. Oh, there's James waiting in the green room. We just need to wait a little bit more. Get them in.
Technology.
For a chat. So far, this whole thing has been real fun. It's been a lot of weird, fun seeds, all really different from each other. There was some worry that we would have too similar of progression with these flag sets, but I don't think that's happening. Hey, James, welcome.
Hello.
Man, that was a weird seed.
Yeah. It was definitely a weird seed.
That was... I even tried to curse it in my commentary, saying that Zarian was going to have to be required because you got so many good things early on, but no, it didn't happen.
That's usually my luck.
It didn't happen, though.
That's been the luck of the tournament thus far. So, yeah, this was an unusual one for sure. But you handled the execution around it very nicely. Really, we're saying it came down to a few different choices in the route that, you know, a classic randomizer race issue. You make one choice and it ends up being the wrong one.
A lot of stress and wrong choices were made.
Not too many. It probably feels like more to you because you just ran it, but you did real good. The only things that put you slightly behind Waffle was you missed the Timespinner wheel in the V downloads. Waffle got that earlier than you did.
Yeah, I definitely needed that earlier.
And then Waffle got the Merchant Crow stash with Lightwall earlier than you did, and that's really what the difference was. Everything else, you guys were doing great, and it was really close and making a lot of the same decisions, and neither of you tried Ma early at all, and we respect that. Early Ma is just a nasty.
It's very nasty. I didn't have my positioning right, so I took a lot more damage than I wanted to.
You did Great. And what I was talking about is the first time you were down there, because your warp was to right outside the maw, and neither of you even looked at Maw's door. You're just, nope, let's
That's
go
too early.
up.
Yeah.
Way too early.
Yep.
Let's just go up. We're going up. We're not even pretending this is a possibility.
Even with Mom giving us Gin Inferno, still
Even
not
with
worth it.
that.
Yeah, way too early. Don't recommend.
hmm Level 2, fighting Maw is a little too rough.
With hardly any items.
hmm And a time of 43 is still a respectable time on these randomizers. It's just Waffle ended up just that little bit more ahead.
Yeah.
Good job, everyone. Is there anything you want to comment on, James, about the seed?
Well, I wasn't expecting it to be so fast. Like 33 minutes. Jesus.
Yeah, that neither
Yeah.
were we.
I was expecting kind of a lengthy seed, but my God.
Yeah,
Win
I mean-
Fei would like to express her thanks to you, James, for doing the machine gun ring set. Even how briefly it was with the ice ring wind orb, where you just machine gun little icicles.
Yeah,
It's her
it had to
favorite.
be done at least once.
Yes, it was her favorite, and she was very happy to see it.
But of course.
Yeah, this did wind up being like a very minimalist kind of set. I'm looking at the item trackers, and like the only thing you had that wasn't actually necessary or useful was pink. Like there was nothing in there, but
Mhm.
like nobody even got double jump.
Yeah, that just felt weird.
You never even got the A key card. You didn't even have to consider the possibility of Zarian or the Spider Hells. It's just never even had to cross your mind,
Perfect.
as the way it should be.
Thankfully.
All right, if no one has anything else to add, this was a great seed, great race, real fun, lots of cool routing and tech. It was really cool seeing that rapid orb switching done right. We were praising that. It's just so cool to watch and so satisfying to see those bosses melt when you're doing that rapid orb switching, James. It's just so cool.
I'm a little disappointed I didn't get Eye Orb to show how really broken it could be, but
Next time. Next time.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you all for coming, and we'll see you all in the next one.
See ya.
see ya.